How to outsmart a narcissist. Outsmarting a narcissist isn't about winning a game. It is about protecting your well being and not getting trapped in their cycle of manipulation. The goal is to take back control of your own life and emotional responses, not to change the narcissist. So, in this video, I'm going to give you various ways of outsmarting a narcissist. Remember, a narcissist is a selfish, self-centered, egocentric, egotistic, self-absorbed individuals. A narcissist wants to be clapped for all the time. They want to be praised all the time. They want constant attention, constant validation, constant recognition. They want constant admiration. Now, to outsmart a narcissist, number one, you need to know what you're dealing with. Narcissists, they play by different rules. Narcissists want power and control, not a fair solution. They lack empathy and they will twist reality. That is, they'll gaslight you, they'll deny responsibility, and they'll project their issues onto you. It's not about you. Their behavior stems from their own deep insecurities. Remind yourself that you are not to blame for their actions, for how they make you feel. The narcissist, they won't change. Accept that the narcissist is unlikely to change their ways, no matter how much you hope or try to help them. Now, this will help you manage your expectations and shift your focus to managing your response. To outsmart a narcissist, take away their fuel. Narcissists feed on your emotional reactions. They feed on your anger. They feed on your frustration. They feed on your sadness. They even feed on your adoration. The less emotion you show the narcissist, the less power they have. So stay calm. Be boring. Use the grey rock method. When the narcissist tries to provoke you, respond with as little emotion as possible. Be as uninteresting as a grey rock. Keep your voice steady and your answers short and factual. Like you'll say, I understand, or you'll say, okay. Don't argue or defend yourself. Arguing gives the narcissist the attention they crave and lets them twist your words. You do not need to justify your feelings or decisions. To outsmart a narcissist, set and enforce clear boundaries. Narcissists often ignore boundaries, so you need to be very clear and consistent. Communicate clearly and firmly. State your limits using I statements. For example, you can say to the narcissist, I will not be spoken to in that tone. If you continue, I will leave the room. Again, when you say that, follow through immediately. The key is to enforce the consequence. The moment the boundary is crossed, you enforce the consequence. So if you say you will leave the room, then leave immediately. In short, when you're dealing with a narcissist, don't make empty threats. So set and enforce those clear boundaries. To outsmart a narcissist, control the flow of information. Keep personal details private. Don't share your fears. Don't share your dreams. Don't be sensitive with how you deal with the narcissist. Don't share any information that is also sensitive to you. Or because when you share sensitive information with the narcissist, they will use it against you later. They'll backstab you. So get things in writing when dealing with a narcissist. If you must communicate about important matters, for instance, work schedules, for instance, co-parenting plans, use text or email so that you have a factual record to counter gaslighting or memory twisting. To outsmart a narcissist, focus on yourself and your well-being. Dealing with a narcissist is exhausting. Prioritizing your own mental health is crucial. So build a support system. Lean on trusted friends, family, or a therapist who can offer support and validate your reality. To outsmart a narcissist, practice self-care. Dedicate time to hobbies, exercise, or relaxation to manage stress. Know when to walk away. In some cases, the only way to truly outsmart a narcissist is to remove yourself from the relationship entirely by going no contact. Your safety and well-being are the top priority. By refusing to play their game and focusing on your own emotional stability and boundaries, you disarm the narcissist and reclaim your power. So, when dealing with a narcissist, let me give you a story on how to deal with one. Okay? I'll give you the story of the narcissist who loved praise. Lena worked with Mark, who always needed to be the center of attention. If anyone got praised, Mark would get angry or sulk. Lena tried to defend her achievements. It became constant drama. One day she stopped competing with him. When Mark boasted, Lena just said calmly, "I see that's important to you." No praise, no argument, no emotional reaction. Mark lost interest because there was no stage to perform on. Now, the lesson from this story is don't feed the narcissist's ego. Don't feed their need for attention or reaction. Silence and neutrality confuses them more than arguments. The other short story is about the narcissist who loved gossip. Now, Auntie Joy liked telling everyone secrets and causing family fights. She would ask trick questions like, "What do you really think of your sister?" Instead of answering, Rita always smiled and said, "I'll let her speak for herself." So Auntie Joy eventually stopped targeting Rita because there was no emotional reaction, there was no secret, and there was no ammunition. So the lesson here is that never give a narcissist personal or emotional information. They will use your stories as weapons. The other story is about the narcissist who blamed everyone. Tom was always the victim. If he failed a project, it was the weather, the co-workers, or even the universe. Instead of arguing, John only asked one question. "Okay, and what do you plan to do now?" Tom had nothing to say. Slowly, he stopped complaining to John because John didn't pamper his drama. The lesson here is when narcissists play victim, when they play victim, they ask solution-focused questions. So drama ends when there is no audience. The other story is about the narcissist who wanted control. Sarah's boyfriend would say things like, "If you loved me, you'd do this." One day she replied, "I love myself too, so I also do what is healthy for me." So she didn't argue, she didn't explain, just a boundary spoken calmly. So he tried to guilt trip her. She remained calm. He stopped because emotional control didn't work anymore. The lesson is that boundaries should be spoken calmly, without anger, because a boundary is a door, not a debate. The other story is about the narcissist who wanted to win. Evan always had to have the last word. If you said the sky was blue, he would argue for hours. So Maya started saying, "You might be right." Not agreeing, not disagreeing, just exiting the argument. Evan couldn't fight someone who refused to fight back. The lesson here is don't try to win against a narcissist. The real victory is your peace. Now, to outsmart a narcissist, you need to know these techniques. The narcissist wants drama. So when they want drama, what should you do? Stay calm, don't give any reaction. And what you will say is that you can say, "I hear you." The narcissist also, they will ask personal things. So what you should do is speak general, not personal. And what you can say is that everything is okay. The other thing is that the narcissists, they will blame you. So what you should do is that don't defend yourself. Don't redirect. You can ask them, "What solution do you suggest?" The narcissists also they will provoke you. So what you should do is that you exit the conversation. You can say, "I'll talk when we are both calm." The narcissist will also try to guilt trip you. So what you should do is to state boundary again. And you can also say, "I understand how you feel. My decision remains." So let me give you a story of the narcissist who pretends to be the wise one. Paul always acted like he knew everything. If someone mentioned something new, he'd interrupt. "Oh yes, I already knew that." Instead of arguing, Mercy simply started asking open questions like, "Interesting, what made you think so?" Suddenly, Paul had to prove his genius, and he ran out of words. Mercy didn't argue. She increased the pressure of truth. So the lesson is that when a narcissist pretends to know everything, ask them to explain. Their fake confidence collapses without your argument. The other story is about the narcissist boss who took all credit. Brian was a boss who took credit for everyone's ideas. Emma stopped complaining. Instead, she sent every idea by email to the whole team and used phrases like, "As we discussed in my earlier email." Now, when Brian tried to take credit, everyone already saw the receipts. The lesson is that you should document everything. Narcissists hate proof because proof ends manipulation. The other story is about the narcissist friend who only called when they needed something. Diana's friend Grace only called when she wanted a favor. Never to check up, never to support. Instead of begging for balanced friendship, Diana started responding with, "I'm not available right now." No long explanation, no guilt. Grace disappeared and Diana's peace returned. The lesson here is that if someone only shows up when they want something, then stop being available. Your absence teaches more than your explanations. The other story is about the narcissist who played the silent treatment game. Ken would go silent for days to punish his girlfriend. Instead of chasing him like before, she used the silence to go out with friends, improve her fitness, and work on her goals. Ken returned shocked that she didn't beg. She replied, "Oh, I thought you needed space." Silence could no longer control her. The lesson is that don't chase when a narcissist withdraws. Use the silence to empower yourself, not please them. The other story is about the narcissist who wanted reaction. Lucy's mother-in-law loved provoking her. Small jabs like, "You gained weight." So Lucy used the golden tactic, the stone wall face. She just said, "Okay," no reaction, no explanation, no emotional rhyme. The mother-in-law eventually stopped because no reaction equals no power. The lesson here is that a narcissist's fuel is your emotional reaction. Neutral calm kills manipulation. Now there are some phrases to use. You can say with a calm voice, "I understand you feel that way." You can say, "Let's agree to disagree. That's your opinion." "Okay, I'll think about it. I'm not discussing this further." Now, let me give you another story of the narcissist who always had a sad story. Every time Samuel didn't get what he wanted, he suddenly became the saddest person alive. "No one supports me," he will say. "Everyone is against me," he will say. "You don't care about me." Before Naomi used to comfort him, apologize, then give in. But this time she replied calmly, "I care, but your feelings don't change my decision." Samuel tried everything, guilt, tears, attitude. But Naomi did not change her decision. So Samuel stopped because his pity trick no longer worked. So the lesson here is a narcissist sadness is often a strategy, not emotion. So hold your boundary gently. Do not bend because they are upset. The other story is about the narcissist who wanted constant applause. Martha had a cousin who always bragged, "See my new shoes. Look at my house. Everyone admires me." Everyone would hype her just to keep peace. But Peter smiled and said simply, "All right, no admiration, no jealousy, no energy." Suddenly, the cousin didn't like showing off around him because he gave her nothing to feed on. So the lesson here is that don't praise or challenge, just be neutral, because a narcissist gets bored when they get no emotional reaction. The other story is about the narcissist manager who loved making people doubt themselves. The manager, Mrs. Clara, always said, "I never say that," even when she did. Instead of arguing, Janet started writing everything down and sending short, polite emails after every conversation. For example, "Thank you for confirming that I will handle the report." Now everything was written. Clara couldn't twist stories anymore. The lesson here is that when narcissists try to confuse or rewrite reality, document, document, document. Proof ends manipulation. The other story is about the narcissist who pretended to help but controlled everything. There was a neighbor, Uncle Paul, who liked giving advice that sounded like, "You don't know what you're doing. Let me handle it." Instead of rejecting or arguing, Joseph smiled and said, "Thanks, but I've decided to handle it myself." Paul pushed harder. Joseph repeated the same sentence calmly, like a song. No explanation, no debate. Eventually, Paul walked away, annoyed, but Joseph kept his independence. The lesson here is that narcissists love control. Your power is in repeating your boundary without explaining. Now, the other story is about the narcissist who made everyone feel guilty. Lisa was always tired or unwell whenever someone didn't do what she wanted. One day her sister said, "I'm sorry you feel that way. Let me know when you feel better." Lisa expected panic. Instead, she got peace. She never tried that tactic again. So the lesson is when guilt comes, don't defend yourself. Acknowledge the feeling, but don't change your decision. The golden rule is that narcissists do not change, but your responses can. And that changes everything. Now, let's conclude by saying that narcissists don't change, but how you react is what is important. Don't react. Remember the golden rule. The golden rule. Narcissists do not change, but your responses can, and that is what changes everything. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.